And welcome to this week's edition of the Broad and Patterson Podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Walsh, for Alex Ozer. How are you doing today, man?
I'm okay. Personally, I'm fine. I don't want to get into it, but, it's fine. So today we're going to be talking about the Packers and Lions, the Sixers roster, the Phillies offseason, and trivia. And today in history, Mike Schmidt was born. He's 70 now. Pretty cool, right? Feel old. You're old.
So, as you touched on, we're going to talk about the Eagles here first. We have two games. We are recording this on a Friday instead of a Thursday.
You got to get that game in.
Just so that we could review the Packers game and the Lions game.
Best Thursday night football game so far.
We're gonna talk about the Lions though first. And boy, where do we begin?
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
Yeah, it was ugly. I mean, we lose the Lions. Yeah. But then we end up beating the Packers a week later.
Yeah.
By far the better team.
So
we all know this.
The game started a 9-play, 70-yard drive, lasted about 3.5 minutes, with a Jake Elliott 25-yarder. Okay, so it's 3-0 Philly. No one's panicking.
Yeah, this is fine. First points
in the first quarter this season.
Of course that changed, but...
And then, 14 seconds later, Jamal Agnew had gotten a 100-yard kickoff return. So,
special teams really failing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jake Elliott had a bad angle in that. He should have tried to just kept on running.
He did, for sure. So they get the extra point. It's 7-3 Detroit now.
We get the ball. This is fine. Everything is fine.
We get the ball. We go on another 9-play drive. 75 yards, about 5 minutes. A Jordan Howard 1-yard touchdown and a Jake Elliott extra point gives us a 10-7 lead.
This is perfect. Everything is fine.
So then that's the end of the first quarter. However, the Lions were on the 4-yard line when the clock hit 0. So second quarter, with about 14 minutes left, Kerryon Johnson with a 1-yard run, Matt Prater with the kick, and now it's 14-10 Detroit. We punt. Then they get it back. They kick a field goal, 17-10.
Not good.
Then we punt again.
Not good.
And then they get another field goal.
Another one.
It's 20-10 at the half. The only score in the third quarter was a Philadelphia touchdown, a Nelson Aguilar 20-yarder from Carson Wentz.
He had a case of the dropsies that day.
Yes, he did. And, my man was catching babies. Unlike Aguilar.
Yeah. And then he got invited to an Eagles game.
Yeah, he was on pregame yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So, shout out to him. Anyway.
Unlike Aguilar.
Fourth quarter, Marvin Jones gets a 12-yard pass from Matthew Stafford. It's 27-17 Detroit. And then with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the Eagles scored a touchdown, made a 3-point game. Now, it was kind of going back and forth in the end of that fourth quarter of who had the ball. It was a lot of turnovers on downs. It was some punts. But
not much offensive production.
Exactly. And the Detroit came away with the win.
Yep. Their defense held out, or our offense held in.
And that was our first loss in the season at home. Hopefully the first of the season and the only of the season.
Mm-hmm. Though we know that that's probably very unlikely. That's going to be the only.
A problem that I had with that last drive, where he did score that touchdown to make it a 3-point game, was it was 10 plays. So when we got the ball, there was about 14 minutes left in the quarter. When you get rid of the ball, there's 6 minutes left.
Not a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time at all. And you're giving them the ball back. Yes, you did get it back, but you didn't even get a first down. So...
kind of screwing yourself there.
We hurt ourselves, for sure.
Yet again.
We had 7 dropped passes.
Matt Collins dropping a touchdown pass. Dallas Goedert wide open, dropping a touchdown pass.
Shout out to Carson Wentz, though.
Shout out to Alshon Jeffrey for not dropping a pass. Oh, wait. He wasn't even playing.
Carson was 19 for 36 with 260 yards and 2 TDs.
Which would have been probably 4 if, we got those good... If we caught those.
Miles Sanders was the leading rusher and the leading receiver. Miles Sanders also had that long kick return yesterday.
Packers? Yeah.
Against the Packers.
I thought he could have taken it all the way, but then the kicker.
A freaking kicker.
Yeah, friggin' kicker. Nobody
Yeah.
likes a kicker. I was a kicker once. Nobody liked me. I got bullied. I'm always getting bullied. What?
Mason Crosby.
Yeah.
With his gray hair. He took his
Yeah.
helmet off. I was like,
What a
oh my
boomer.
god.
What a boomer.
Yeah, right. Baby boomer. Dude's like
Yeah.
60. Just retire already. Anyway.
Stop talking about my boy Adam Vinatieri like that.
I'm not talking about Adam.
I know,
I'm
but
talking
still.
I'm talking about...
You're telling him just retire already.
Well, I'm talking about Mason Crosby, though.
Yeah, still.
He's not as good as Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
So anyway, Carson had a career day against Detroit, but a lot of it was spoiled. And really the box score doesn't show how good he was in that game. Really gave us a chance to win there. Didn't exactly get it, though.
Yep.
Which,
this is fine. Everything is fine.
But, I mean, were you really panicking?
I mean, with the dropped passes, yes, because, Alshon was on the sidelines, so, it would have been better if he was dropping passes for the memes,
Yeah.
But just dropped passes in general, we're talking, and, Sanders fumbled 2 times in one drive, picked it up one
2
time.
times in, like, one down.
There's like
Seriously,
it was
he
like
was
2
like-
times in 3 or 4 downs. Actually.
Yeah, he was like,
And the first one we miraculously got, and the second time, of course, we didn't get it because you fumble a second time.
And Aguilar had the fumble, too.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of lost it. It was weird.
Yeah, the ball control.
But
Don't need to be
I want to put some spotlight on Miles Sanders, and this goes also into the Green Bay game. He has been looking good these last 2 games.
He's had flashes.
The first two games we didn't see much from him, but in in Detroit and Green Bay, we saw quite a lot of Miles Sanders. However, I am happy. This is me shifting gears to the Packers game, by the way.
Yeah.
I am happy that Jordan Howard got 15 carries.
Yeah, didn't he get like 30 fantasy points or something?
I'm not sure how many fantasy points he got, but
I was watching.
I know he had 15 carries and 87 yards for 2 rushing touchdowns.
And he got a receiving touchdown.
And he had a receiving touchdown.
Which keeps on boosting it up and up.
Aaron Rodgers was the leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers.
Which is a little strange.
So
So
when you have a
your 36-year-old quarterback?
36-year-old white quarterback with a porn stash from the 70s is your leading rusher.
Yeah, not good.
Not at all. I mean, not for the Packers. It was good for us.
Yeah.
Especially on that goal line stand there. The Packers passed it 4 times to the 1-yard line and ended up turning the ball over. But Zach Ertz had a great game. Averaged just under 10 yards a catch. But really, Jordan Howard is the staple of this game. Carson Wentz also, it was 16 for 27, 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Which isn't really exactly comparable to Rodgers' night, but that's fine. Because we did run the ball a lot.
Let's move over to the defense now. What do you think about that first hit Derek Barnett had? He's not going to get suspended for that, by the way.
He is going to get fined, though. Yeah. Derek Barnett, he didn't mean to do it by any means. He didn't mean to.
He just tried to get the ball out.
For sure. I mean, he's just trying to do his job. He's a defensive end. He's out there to tackle.
And then, like a few drives later, Devontae Adams on a free play. He was basically already getting wrapped up, and Derek Barnett, out of nowhere, about 20 yards downfield, hammers him. Of course, that wasn't the injury to him, but I'm just feeling like he's a headhunter. It reminds me of how hard he's trying to hit, like early Lawrence Taylor. He's trying to get everybody, everywhere across the field.
Just to clarify what Alex is talking about, what did actually injure Jamal Williams was the face mask from Nigel Bradham, and just kind of awkwardly falling. It was an awkward falling. There was 3 or 4 Eagles around him, but it really started with that face mask. But it wouldn't have happened if Derek Barnett didn't have that hit. I want to talk about, though, Zach Brown was penalized 4 times, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. One of them was like unnecessary roughness.
There was one of them was unnecessary roughness. He had a face mask that I wanted to address. There was a face mask. I don't remember exactly who it was on, but it definitely looked like a face mask in real time.
Yeah.
But looking at the replay, he just his hand was on the side of the Packers helmet, and the head turned. But he didn't grab the actual face mask.
So that was just...
not
face mask.
And it was a late flag as well. So, should refs not listen to the players? Like, do you think that's what it was there? Do you think that was the refs really listening to what the Packers were telling them?
I just remember this isn't much on that topic, but I just remember the same person that missed the Rams Saints call, the PI missed the Miles Sanders face mask.
In the Lions game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same person. But they're making more money than a lot of people are. So.
And shifting to...
We shift a lot.
I just lost it.
Yeah.
What you were just
we were
talking
about the defense.
Oh, yes.
Face masks.
So, there was one play, it was pass interference, it was blatant pass interference on Avonte Maddox. And they didn't call it. Now, I'm not complaining.
Yeah,
but it was a terrible call.
You should be complaining. Yeah, I mean, not for us, just for the NFL in general.
Yeah, for the NFL in general. That was a terrible call. It helped out the Eagles a hell of a lot, but
that's not what's supposed to happen.
I just don't.
That's not okay.
No way. There was enough contact. Avonte was not playing the ball. And it was an incompletion to start with. So
can we talk about like how most times when we're not even facing the receiver, normally you're seeing Avonte Maddox doing that, like not even turning to the ball ever. Like, you know, we could probably get another 2 to 3, 4, 5 picks a season. And just turn to look the ball.
There was a play. It was a long play in like the first quarter. Aaron Rodgers
did he, like,
to Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it was in back in the corner. Is that? Oh no, you're talking about where he actually completed it.
Yeah, it was a completion,
and he got lost.
And Devontae Adams got a huge run after the catch.
Hence why he has 180 receiving yards.
But Sidney Jones was the cornerback, and he was not focused on where the ball was. He was focused more on not getting burnt by Devontae Adams. And it was definitely playable if he was looking at the ball. But he wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was like a 60-yard gain.
And honestly, I want to see why if Jim Schwartz taught them to play like this. Like I want to hear the mindset on that type of defense. To not
for
play
sure,
the ball.
for sure.
I really do.
I don't know.
Maybe there's something I'm missing.
I think Jim Schwartz. I think it's definitely a possibility, but mainly because, especially with Green Bay, if you can get enough pressure on the quarterback, they're not always going to throw perfect passes. So don't worry about the ball.
Like in Madden.
Exactly like in Madden.
Yeah, even though we should never be saying that because Madden is absolute garbage. Just to clarify.
But, we're going to talk about the Sixers in a second.
Yeah, we want to just move on from that.
But just wrapping it up with the Eagles here. We're 2-2. We have a very winnable game at home next week.
Against the Jets.
And then we have, against the Jets, and then we have 3 straight road games. How do you think this is shaping up right now for the Birds?
I think we're probably still going to start slow like last year. And then we're going to just explode in the later games.
Is this a team that you think is going to get hot late, in December?
It's going to have a lot of momentum. I think we're probably an 11-win team still. Do you think we could go, what is that, 9-3 in the span of games?
Yes.
Yeah.
9-3 in the last 12 games.
Yeah.
I think 12 wins is still very...
up there.
Yeah. You can still definitely get to it.
If we aren't injured, if the stars stay healthy, Yes. But actually, no. Because the Stars aren't going to stay healthy. We all know this. It sucks.
Yeah.
This is going to end up being karma for me again. How I said that the Lions were going to get dominated. Yeah.
But
Now
it's
nobody's
just the
gonna
thing
get
is,
injured.
the thing is, most of those injuries happened in the Falcons game. It was a Sunday night rivalry game,
Battle of
not
the
at
Birds.
home.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta,
In the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
in a Superdome. Fans are going crazy. It's Sunday night. It's a rivalry. Players are going to get hurt. It's going to be a very physical game. So playing the Jets at home at 4 o'clock on a Sunday is not, going to get a lot of injuries. I was surprised we didn't see many injuries on the Eagles' perspective yesterday. We did see the gruesome Jamal Williams and Avonte Maddox injuries. We did see Sidney Jones leave the game. But that was really it. We saw Fletcher Cox miss a play or two.
Yeah.
But he came back in.
You said during the game that you're not worried about it.
Because we have a long week.
Yeah.
But
2-2, it's fine. We're gonna end up starting hot. Well, we're gonna start it hot. We're gonna end up getting hot.
I still, as I said last week, I had this team possibly 2-2 in the first 4 weeks, but it gets easier than the Falcons and the Packers.
Yeah.
On the road. So, we still have the Giants twice and the Redskins. We still have the Dolphins and the Jets and the Bills.
We can see if the Cowboys are actually good.
And we still have the Cowboys, who I don't think are as good as everyone thinks.
Yeah. Even though I do have them high in the power rankings, that's just so when they end up losing to the Saints, they're gonna drop. Kind of like
love to see them boys drop, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so off that topic, let's shift into the Sixers. So the Sixers, I want to talk about the roster.
Yeah.
Obviously, the starting five is tremendous. A great starting five.
Probably one of the best.
I would say the best because the
Let's
Clippers.
say Ben Simmons
The
gets
Clippers
one
have
of the
no
best.
front court.
Besides Kawhi and
No, they don't have a front court.
Yeah, front court. Oh yeah, you're right. Like
Avika Zubac.
who?
Avika Zubac.
Zeke who? That's the joke. I don't know them because they're bad.
No,
We should just
it's the
restart.
Clippers.
We should definitely just restart.
No, this is definitely gonna make the cut. Anyway. Alright, anyway. So at point guard from Australia,
Ben Simmons.
at shooting guard at 6'6" from I don't know what college he's from, number 0,
Josh Richardson.
at small forward from Tennessee at 6'9".
Nice.
Number 12,
Tobias Harris.
your starting power forward
Who's probably actually center.
from Florida, 6'10". Number 42,
Al Horford.
and your starting center,
Best in the league.
7'2". Number 21.
Marco Fultz. Joel Embiid.
So that's your starting lineup for the Sixers this year. Just imagine all that with the fire going up.
Yep.
Mark
Everybody acting
Zumoff
all
in the
crazy.
background.
Just chilling.
Bro, it is going to be rocking every night at the Wells Fargo Center this
Yep.
year.
Trying to get me some tickets.
And for good reason. So let's look at our point guards first here.
Yep.
So your starting point guard is obviously Ben Simmons. If he can develop a three-point shot,
Best in the league.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dang.
But-
That's the best.
Best
I
point
mean,
guard?
I don't mean like I mean like if he has an amazing 3-point, like not like Steph Curry, but like Kyrie kind of. If he has Kyrie shooting,
Second.
all right,
Behind Steph.
all right.
So, the backup point guard is Trey Burke, who we picked up in free agency this year. Great pickup. A lot of people have compared him to Allen Iverson. He's 26 years old. He's still young. His career high is actually higher than. You can correct me on this, but his career high is higher than any of the starters right now.
Which is
52.
Wow. Is that just? I'm guessing
For the
points,
Knicks. Yeah, 52 points.
Yeah. That's probably that's gotta be. I don't think Joel Embiid's ever scored like more than.
No,
50.
Joel Embiid's career high is 46.
Yeah.
The backup is Raul Neto, who we picked up in free agency from the Utah Jazz. He's a good player. I don't expect him to see a lot of playing time, but when he does get playing time, he is very effective. He's going to play off the ball a lot. He's a good shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have Shake Milton, who we saw a little bit of.
Yeah, but
before.
let's rank these players as in like terms like A, B, C. Let's have something like A like Steph Curry, and somebody like F as example, Markel Fultz.
All right, so Ben Simmons, I'm going to give him an A-.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the season, I haven't really seen what his jump shot looks like when it's contested, and stuff like that.
It's not going to get very contested unless he's against somebody like Lonzo, who's a bigger build like him.
For sure. Trey Burke, I'd give maybe a B. He's going to be our sixth man for sure.
Mike Scott crying in the background.
But Trey Burke is a great player. He's been a starter for a number of years. Again, Allen Iverson type play. Raul Neto, I'd give maybe a D+, C-.
He's okay.
He's not going to see much playing time.
Yep.
Especially later in the season. Shake Milton, I'd give maybe a D-. We haven't really seen much of him. He's a great shooter. I went to a Delaware Bluecoats game last year, and I did see a lot of Shake Milton. I think he had 28 points in that game.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to shooting guard now.
So our starting shooting guard is Josh Richardson. We already mentioned that.
Yep. I'd probably give him maybe a B+.
I'd give him about a B.
Yeah, he's good,
but he's not great.
Yeah.
Our
he's
backup,
in the middle of the pack.
Our backup shooting guard. Well, we don't really have a backup shooting guard.
Just more rotational players, like people who can play point guard and.
I could see probably Zaire Smith being our backup shooting guard. The kid we drafted last year only got to see some garbage minutes at the end of last year.
Needs to get involved.
But Zaire Smith could play a pretty big role this year.
Mm-hmm. Depending on how much time he gets.
Depending on his improvement. If he improves a lot, I could see a lot of playing time from him.
Kind of a dream team.
So that's shooting guard. I give Josh Richardson, we said, as a B. I give Zaire Smith maybe a D+. Because we just don't really know what he's capable of. He's a great defender. Great defender. But besides that, we don't really know much. At small forward, our starting small forward is Tobias Harris.
Yep, we already talked about him.
I'm going to give him a B+ here.
Yeah. He can play shooting guard.
He has all-star potential.
Yeah, he can play shooting guard, small forward, and power forward, in my opinion.
He was top 10 in the league last year in three-point percentage.
Which is great.
I could see him being maybe an all-star.
Yeah, he's a dark horse candidate. Depending on how much time he gets and how much he gets the ball, that really changes a lot. Depending on how much Embiid and Ben Simmons are gonna steal all the rebounds, that also may affect it. But
our backup small forward is James Ennis, who we picked up from the Rockets last year. He was their starting small forward for a little bit. He's a solid player. He had a lot of good games last year. That are worth mentioning. And I'd give him maybe a C+. I'd give James Ennis a C+.
Yeah.
Mariel Shayok is also a small forward. However, I don't think he'll be in the NBA for a while. I think he'll be mainly a G League player.
We can talk about the free throw rules in the G League later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furkan Korkmaz can also play the three. He's going to probably see a lot of that, especially earlier in the season, like we saw last year. The kind of the role he played So now I want to take a look at power forward.
Yeah.
Starting power forward is Al Horford, who we picked up from the Celtics, of course.
So let's compare like an A+ to like somebody like I don't know, Anthony Davis. Let's say he's playing power forward, which he,
No, he won't.
Dwight
Because
Howard.
they don't have a center.
What about Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard's not going to start. Do you really think Dwight Howard's going to start? Come on.
I mean, depending on how he does, he could.
I don't know.
I mean, they
From
wanna
what we
use
saw
him.
in Washington. Anyway. Al Horford is a...
He's the, I'm pretty sure maybe the 8th rated center in 2K. He's rated as a center, but
But he's not a center.
yeah.
So that's, I mean, there's not really much to say. He is a dark horse. In my opinion, I think he's a dark horse defensive player of the year candidate. He only averages about 14 points per game, but he is a solidified defender.
But points don't mean everything.
I'm going to give him a B+
Yeah.
on this one. Definitely an upgrade from Wilson Chandler. But our backup power forwards include Mike Scott and Jonah Bolden. So Mike Scott is going to get an A- here. I said Al Horford was a B+, and I said Mike Scott was
Mike
an
Scott is
A-.
a great defensive player.
So here's how I'm going to say this. Al Horford, B+, Mike Scott, A-. In their roles. I'm not saying Mike Scott is better than Al Horford. I'm saying in their roles.
As in like 6th, 7th man for Mike Scott.
And the starting power forward for Al Horford, I think.
So you think that Mike Scott's a great 6th man, even though?
I think he's a great guy off the bench.
Yeah.
He's a great guy to get you some shots.
Do you think
late
he's the
in
best
fourth
person
quarter.
off the bench?
No, I think that's Trey Burke. I think Trey
That we
Burke,
talked about earlier.
also a dark horse, 6th man of the year candidate, because he's been a starter for a while.
We all know Lou Williams is gonna win it for the 14th time. It's fine.
In a row, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's okay.
Like he's obviously one of the best players in the Clippers, but he just refuses to start.
Yeah,
It's kind of unfair. It's
just-
kind of like LeBron James coming off the bench and just saying it's
Yeah.
6th man of the year.
Or something like.
So Norval Powell, who we saw a lot of in the summer league, could also get some power forward minutes. He is 7'1", however, I just don't think he's exactly the scorer that a center should be in this day and age. So I also mentioned Jonah Bolden. I give Jonah Bolden a D+. He was a great shooter last year for his size. He's pretty gangly, but he's a great shooter. Especially we kind of saw that mid-range shot perk up a little bit in the middle of the season. But towards the end of the season, we didn't see a whole lot of him. Center.
I wonder who we have here.
Joel Embiid is obviously an A+.
Yeah.
He is the best center in the league, and he is ours. How awesome is that?
And there's only Nikola Jokic, who's the only person who can really compare.
And still not comparable.
And Anthony Davis, I mean, not...
Anthony
as
Davis
much.
and Joel Embiid
Yeah.
head-to-head.
That'd be a great game.
It really isn't. Because Joel Embiid has
Oh.
dominated Anthony Davis in the past.
But I want to see, like, just in general, like...
There was one game against the Pelicans where we only won by a free throw, and Anthony Davis had 12 points, and Joel Embiid had 41. Head-to-head.
That's like like how people described that one guy as the Kobe stopper, but the guy averaged 28 points on him.
Who?
I'm not sure. There's somebody
Jeremy
by his
Lin?
name. No, not Jeremy Lin.
Oh. Lynn Sanity?
No, there's just somebody who had like one good defensive game against Kobe, and then he was called like the Kobe stopper.
Oh, Corey Brewer?
Probably.
Maybe?
And then like Kobe averaged like 28 points a game on him.
Corey Brewer was such a bust. And I don't mean the new one. I mean like the old one from like the 90s and stuff. Anyway.
Let's stay on track.
Back to center. Backup center is Al Horford. However, I'm just going to stay on track with what these guys are listed as on the Sixers website. Kyle O'Quinn is the next center on the roster. Picked him up in free agency. He played for the Pacers last year. Him and Jonah Bolden as well could also get center minutes, but I already talked about him. Kyle O'Quinn. I'm going to give Kyle O'Quinn just from like his personality and his defensive presence, I'm gonna give Kylo Quinn a C-. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
He's a very tough guy. Is going to mesh well with Mike Scott.
Having technical difficulties here.
All right. Anyway, you guys don't know what just happened, but it was pretty funny.
Is that all for the Sixers?
I think so. I think that is enough for the Sixers. I think I've pretty much touched on every player, and I'm pretty much happy with this roster. Obviously, as a whole, I think it's the best roster in the NBA. From 1 to 15, I think this is the best roster in the NBA. All right.
That's all we got for the Sixers.
So now I want to shift gears once again into your Philadelphia Phillies. Now, no, I'm not going to rant. I know they got eliminated.
You are. We all know you're going to end up doing
I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to rant.
This is your season goal.
I want to talk about the offseason.
Yeah, the season's over. We're going to talk about it next week.
They have we have to talk about the
over.
season in review after the Miami Marlins series, which would finish out the year. Right now, they're 79 and 80.
Whew.
If they lose out, they will have a worse record than last year. Just let that settle in.
And they were a disappointment last year, too. They started off hot again, and they cooled off again. It's just same tale, different year.
roster.
Yeah.
But this offseason is a huge opportunity for this organization. This
we
is
said
a
that last year. Or
we said that last year, and look what we got. We got Bryce Harper. This year, we have players that could be more effective than Bryce Harper. Players like Garrett Cole, Anthony Rendon, J.D. Martinez, who I really don't think will go after, but he's just a name as well. Madison Bumgarner, Zach Wheeler, Mike Moustakas as well. But first, I want to touch on Garrett Cole. I cannot stress this enough. Matt Klentak, John Middleton, Andy McPhail. I'm telling you this right now. Garrett Cole should be absolutely your number one priority in this offseason.
Now, you see, I don't know much about baseball, so you should know what you're talking about, but...
Garrett Cole is a Cy Young candidate this year. So he's really good. He was the first to 200 strikeouts this year. He's a pitcher, obviously, if you haven't picked that up yet. Plays for the Houston Astros. I don't believe that the Astros have that money that they want to prioritize Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is going to ask for a lot of money. He's represented by Scott Boras as well. He's going to ask for north of $200 million. But it's not something we can't do.
Yeah.
We have tons and tons of money.
Even after Bryce Harper signing.
But the money that Bryce Harper has gotten us,
Whew.
the revenue that he's picked us up,
Money, 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 money.
the jerseys that he sold, the seats that he
The
sold.
disappointments he's brought in.
Shut up.
I'm just
Garrett
kidding.
Cole would be the best pitcher on this team. If you were to
We
pick
need a
him up.
pitcher.
We absolutely need a pitcher.
Like Aaron,
Not this year. This year he hasn't been great.
yeah.
The rest of the pitching staff has been absolutely terrible.
Yeah, Aaron was just...
He was just kind of average. this
Yeah.
year. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
Yeah,
He had bad starts. He had great starts.
Yeah.
He was very
It's
inconsistent.
baseball.
Yeah, exactly. It's baseball, but he wasn't anything compared to last year.
Yeah.
But again, Garrett Cole. I know McPhail and Middleton love left-handed pitchers, but Garrett Cole is maybe the best pitcher in the league.
And if we pick him up, the best outfielder, one of the best outfielders, best pitcher, just saying. I mean, I know Bryce is out there at right, so we won't be able to chase down those ones in the middle, but still.
Another free agent I want to talk about is Anthony Rendon. Obviously, the star of the Washington Nationals right now.
Hence why they're going to the playoffs.
He is about he's looking like a 35, 110 player with about a 330 batting average. That's what he is this year. Can he be that next year? No one knows. He's a third baseman. Now, here's the issue with a third baseman. Anthony Rendon is one of the best players in the league. He's been the best third baseman this year. Star of the Washington Nationals. But here's the problem.
Here's the T.
Our top prospect right now is a third baseman.
So that kind of cancels that out.
However, he can play first base.
Whack.
Our prospect can play first base. His name's Alec Bohm. He hits a lot of home runs. He will hit for average as well. He is a great defender. However, that's kind of being wasted if you put him at first base. But here's what I'm saying. Do you think, and I love him to death, but do you think the Phillies should consider trading Rhys Hoskins?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, he's an okay player. We know that. He's good.
He was pretty damn good last year.
He's good.
He had 96 RBIs, 34 home runs. This year, no. He's hitting 225.
No!
With not even 30 home runs.
The world's on fire!
Bro, he hasn't been great this year.
But
he hasn't been as good as people thought he was going to be.
Could he have a bounce back year? Maybe. We don't know that. I mean,
and here's another factor that you have to bring into this. I think there is a north of 80% chance that Gabe Kapler is not the Phillies manager next year.
Praise the Lord. Baby Jesus.
There is a lot of managers on the market, considering that the Cubs have lost almost 9 in a row now, that I believe Joe Maddon will be fired. Joe Maddon is a great manager for the Chicago Cubs right now. Got them to win the World Series. He's the manager of them when they won the World Series. He's been the manager of a few great teams, but I don't think, you can quote me on this, maybe this is a hot take.
Yeah,
I don't think Joe Maddon has had a team as good as this Phillies team is right now, talent-wise.
But let's stay at Rhys Hoskins. Like, he's been on the team for a little while.
But could Rhys Hoskins' luck change if he was playing under a different manager?
I mean, the whole mood changes. Maybe he changes. Just his mentals,
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. That's the variable that you have to bring into this. That's the tough part about this offseason. The manager can change a whole hell of a lot.
Will he change?
Could it change Rhys Hoskins? If you don't think so, you can get a hell of a lot in exchange for Rhys Hoskins. He has potential to be a perennial MVP candidate. Okay, he's very young, but he's just not good enough. He can be good enough.
Yes.
But he just hasn't shown it.
He has a very high ceiling,
but a very low floor. That it's high risk, high reward.
But the risk is probably higher than the reward.
Exactly.
So do you end up taking that, or do you not? That's the question.
That's the question. Do you value Alec Bohm over Rhys Hoskins? Or maybe don't even get a new third baseman. Just bring up Alec Bohm in spring training, give him a massive contract like they gave Scott Kingery a few years ago.
Maybe he balls out.
Maybe. And maybe you don't have a problem.
Yeah, maybe there's no problem.
Maybe you trade Cesar Hernandez, which I really hope they do because they can get a lot for him. Put Scott Kingery at second base. Have Gene Segura at shortstop. Alec Bohm is your starting third baseman every day. I think maybe he'll start off cold. The MLB thing, maybe not the best thing to just jump into. But I think he can handle it. And Rhys Hoskins at first base. That's an awesome infield. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but my free agents that I'm thinking about right now, Zach Wheeler, I think, is the most likely. Garrett Cole, I want to prioritize. And Madison Bumgarner. He's a left-handed pitcher. We need a left-handed pitcher. He's good. He's fairly young. He's 30. Getting Andrew McCutchen back solves a lot of issues offensively for sure. And just kind of bring all the guys back. I just think really your priority should be pitching. If you want to do something at third base, maybe do it. Maybe sign Mike Moustakas, okay, for like 2 months. And then you bring up Alec Boehm behind Mike Moustakas.
Kind of like how Rodgers developed a little bit.
Behind Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's maybe the best route, because you're not trading Rhys Hoskins in that situation. But you need a third baseman. You absolutely don't have a third baseman right now. And, I mean, the only third baseman you have is Scott Kingery, and he's not going to play every position every year, so you got to figure that out.
Yeah, but I feel like
that's something you should do. Alec Boehm will be the starting third baseman by next September. It's just who's going to be the starting third baseman on opening day.
Yeah, but let's switch gears here.
So we're gonna do our weekly power rankings here.
Yep.
Alex, you're gonna start off with your NFL. I'm gonna switch from MLB. I'm gonna start my NBA power rankings this week. So you start with your NFL ones.
Yeah, I'm just take it from here. So this is as of Friday, September 27th, before the games of Week 4, correct? And so I'm gonna start off here. New England, number 1. Who could have guessed? New England again, always been at number 1. Never hasn't been at number 1. Kansas State, we're gonna have them at 2. We're gonna have the Rams at 3. You know, they had an okay game against the Browns, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. And then we had 4. We have Dallas. You know, we already talked about this early in the show. So when they lose to the Saints, we're gonna move them down to 11. Yeah. At 5, we have Philadelphia. I like the momentum that they have so far. They've been fine. And I feel like once Alshon Jeffrey comes back, it'll be good. At 6, we have Baltimore. You know, just barely beating the Cardinals, who are, you know, bottom 3 team in the league.
However, I mean, they're the only team that hasn't lost to Detroit now.
And for 7, we're going to have the Bears. Because, you know, the Bears. Mitchell Trubisky got his first touchdown pass of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a very easy pass. Seattle and, who plays Thursday night?
Rams.
Next week.
Seattle and Rams.
Yeah, Seattle and Rams, they play. At 8, we have A.A. Rod on the Green Bay Packers. And for 9, we have the Vikings, VK. And for 10, we have the team that decided they didn't want to run the ball. They threw an interception. You know, it's Seattle. How do you like these?
I do like those a lot. I think the Vikings are a team that aren't on a lot of power rankings in the top 10. And I definitely agree with you there. I think Dalvin Cook has been amazing. I think when Kirk Cousins has a good play style, I think he can really light it up with laterals and yeah. But anyway.
Yep. Let's talk about your power rankings.
The NBA with number 10. You hate to see it, man. It's the Boston Celtics.
They out there.
I have them going 48 and 34 this year. Without Kyrie and Al Horford, arguably the 2 best players last year.
Yeah, is Jason Tatum going to be able to pull a hard carry?
They replaced them with Kemba Walker and Enes Kanter, which are huge drop-offs. Jason Tatum's still there. Jaylen Brown's still there. They still have a lot of good players, but I just don't see them winning a lot of games down the stretch. So when we go to 9, I've got the Houston Rockets here. I know a lot of people have them a lot higher. I have them going 51 and 31. I mean, the Rockets would have been wise to get their chemistry issues from last season and just try to win this season with the same core, but clearly the James-Chris relationship was broken, and the Rockets had the best record when Paul was healthy for the past 2 seasons.
How do you feel about them getting Russ?
I wouldn't do it. If that was the Sixers, I wouldn't be happy with that. You know, just mixing Harden and Russ, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it will. I mean, it could.
Who's going to get the triple-double? Who's going to get the 40 points? That's basically the question. Who's going to miss the most?
I mean, it's easier for Russ to get his assists now. because Harden's scoring.
Yeah, every single time.
At 8, I have the Utah Jazz. A huge pickup of Mike Conley earlier in the offseason, losing Ricky Rubio. You still got Rudy Gobert. You still got Donovan Mitchell. You still got all those great players. Really much to say with the Jazz.
So, probably one of the best defensive centers in the league, like you said, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert for sure.
Definitely.
7, I've got the Pacers. I have them going 50-32 this year.
50-win team, always nice. You think that Oladipo is going to really show out?
When he's healthy, yes. Losing Darren Collinson's a huge drop, but getting Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Lamb, but losing Thad Young and Bojan Bogdanovic are two huge losses to this core. Especially, Thad Young was their starting power forward. Bogdanovic was their starting shooting guard when he was out, when Oladipo was out. So yeah, obviously two huge losses, but they picked up T.J. McConnell, which will help with their bench. And R.I.P. T.J. McConnell with his Sixers jersey.
Still follow the daily T.J. McConnell account on Instagram.
Yeah. Shout out to them, by the way. All right, 6. 6, I have the pride of the NBA, the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
Everybody, I have them.
Patriots of the NBA for the past decade.
I have them going 53-29. The Warriors are only projected to win 50 games, however, with the injury to Klay Thompson. But they're replacing Klay Thompson for the time being with D'Angelo Russell, which is good.
Who could be an all-star?
Exactly.
He balled out with the Nets.
In the West, though, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
just been a lot of trades,
sure.
really, like a trade of position for most teams. Like D'Angelo Russell's gone for the Nets, and now Kyrie's stepping in there.
All right, so now we enter the top 5. I have the Denver Nuggets. There's not really much to say. They didn't have a huge offseason, but they still have that core that they had last year. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap. They still have a great core, for sure. And I think that they could win quite a few games, maybe like 52-53. At 4, I have the Milwaukee Bucks.
Giannis.
Losing Malcolm Brogdon is a huge loss, but still keeping Chris Middleton is huge. Having Giannis as well is going to be a huge help, obviously. Brook Lopez and Robin Lopez. Two great centers, brothers, obviously.
Brook Lopez can shoot, which is a good thing.
He can.
Because
his brother can't shoot for shit, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's really... They didn't have a huge offseason either.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who they picked up. Wesley Matthews is their starting shooting guard now, which isn't great. But, it's what they got.
In the offseason, but...
It's what they got.
Yeah,
it's what they got.
All right.
It's fine.
I just sound like a middle-aged mom.
At 3, I have the Los Angeles Lakers.
At 3, I have the Los Angeles...
Don't yell at me, okay? The Lakers are not top 2 in the league, okay?
Oh,
sorry.
no.
I have them going 55-27. They have a second best chance of winning the championship, which I don't know how that makes sense.
What are you judging off of?
I mean, without Boogie.
Is this by the NBA or just odds? Do you have odds up or?
Yeah, I have their projected win totals up right now. And their projected win total is 51, but I don't agree with that. I think they're going to win 55.
I mean, come on. You got LeBron, who's been in his prime for the past 10 years.
However, he hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. It's been kind of off and on. Anthony Davis actually it's great signing, but there's obviously downside. And besides that, I mean, who you've got? I mean, you've got Danny Green.
He's all right. Alex Caruso, the GOAT.
The GOAT, Alex Caruso.
Saying, he has the same amount of 30 points games as Jason Tatum.
All right, number 2, I'm going with your hometown Philadelphia 76ers. Projected to win 52 games. However, I got them winning 58. I have them going 58-24. Obviously, as we touched on earlier in the show, the number 1 starting lineup in the league. A great bench. I think their bench has improved so much. They have Trey Burke, Mike Scott, James Ennis.
We already talked about all this.
Yeah, we did, but it's a great bench. And at number 1, I'm going with the guys right now, the favorites to win it all.
The
LA Clippers. I have them winning 60 games.
60-win team.
60-22. But obviously their massive move to get Kawhi and PG are now the number 1 team in the West. They average 53 wins per simulation. So that's the projected win total. But obviously they have an amazing bench. They had the best bench in the league already. And now you add Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. You still have Ivica Zubac, Patrick Beverley as well. So it's just a great team all around. And those are my NBA power rankings.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it for our show today.
That's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
You're so weird. You are so weird. I think this is the time when we just lose our sanity, and I just call you weirdo.
Yeah.
Is that the script?
That's the script.
Okay. But, yep, that's it.
Until next Friday, boys and girls, this has been your Broad and Patterson podcast.